Hey, how's it going guys? Blue Tempest here, and welcome to another video. So for today's video, we have something a little different for my channel. As most of you guys who are watching this video know that my channel primarily is focused on manga content. But for today's video, it's slightly manga related, more so anime related. But I have been wanting to make this video for a really long time, as I want to talk about another one of my passions aside from obviously manga and anime, and that is music. I am a huge music lover, and I also am really into collecting vinyl records. So I wanted to show my collection of anime related vinyl records. I have amassed a couple of pretty cool records for my collection, and I think you guys will enjoy them if you are fans of anime like I am. And then at the end, I will show off a couple more albums that are just some of my personal favorite albums that aren't anime related at all. So yeah, pretty different video for my channel, but I hope you guys do enjoy, and let's get into it. All right, so to start off, the first vinyl that I want to show you guys is the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. Now, as a lot of you guys know, this is a classic anime, as well as one of the best anime soundtracks. So when they announced the vinyl for this, I had to have it in my collection. This release is absolutely beautiful. We have obviously Spike and Faye Valentine on the cover, and then the whole gang on the back here. And I did show off the gatefold here with some just amazing artwork. This has all of the iconic songs from the soundtrack, and starting off with Tank, the iconic opening song for this series. But yeah, this release is super cool. I did want to obviously show it off and show off the pressings for this. So here we have the first disc, which is a blue marble, just an absolutely beautiful record right here. And yeah, so if you guys haven't watched Cowboy Bebop, definitely think it is a must-watch anime for any fan of anime. So definitely a really good series. I did try getting into the manga, fun fact, and if you guys have watched my first video ever on this channel where I show off my collection, at the time I did have the Cowboy Bebop manga, but unfortunately I didn't really enjoy it that much, so I ended up selling it. But yeah, the anime still really good. Here is the second disc, which is a kind of like an orange marble, and that is just such a beautiful color. These are honestly some of the most stunning colored vinyl in my collection. So I definitely knew I had to show this one off first. And I believe that this record is actually a Right Stuf exclusive pressing. Not sure if it's still available. I'll put up something on the screen letting you guys know if this record is still available to order on Right Stuf. But yeah, that is the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. All right, so the next one is a pretty big one, and that is the Attack on Titan Season 1 original soundtrack. Now, this is the FYE exclusive. This thing is insane. It is 3 discs long, and I'm only going to show one of the discs because all of the records are the same color. But this pressing is super cool, and it's like a trifold. So don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but here we have the wall, I believe overlooking Shiganshina, the hometown of the main characters in Attack on Titan. Don't get to talk about this series as much on my channel because obviously I don't have the manga and I haven't read the manga, but I absolutely love the anime for Attack on Titan. It is I would say it's up there as, you know, possibly contender for my favorite anime of all time. Definitely one of the animes that I've rewatched the most over the years, as the first season back in 2013 was my introduction, honestly, to anime series. It was like the first actual series of anime that wasn't like a movie or something, that I really got into, and kind of got into blindly just from the hype of the anime back in the day in 2013 when that first season first came out. So yeah, that's when it all started, my obsession with anime. So yeah, it's definitely, I'm definitely biased when it comes to Attack on Titan, and I am gonna collect the manga. I do believe that there are some omnibus editions coming out really soon, so hopefully, I think that's gonna be the method that I'm gonna collect the manga in. But yeah, just to show off this pressing, this is a really like blood red cloudy color that really fits the vibe of Attack on Titan. And I don't know if this, if you guys can see this super well, but yeah, like this record is super nice. The actual soundtrack for Attack on Titan is honestly one of my favorite anime soundtracks of all time. There's so many iconic songs and, you know, moments in this soundtrack. A lot of the, you know, music in this series, I feel like when I listen to this on vinyl, I can picture the scenes in my mind. Also just because I've watched this anime so many times. But yeah, that is the Attack on Titan original soundtrack on vinyl. So next up is another anime that is pretty much kind of tied with Attack on Titan for being my favorite anime of all time. Definitely out of all the animes that I feel like have, you know, that are somewhat completed, because I don't know if they'll ever do another season of this series, but the series in question is HunterxHunter. So yes, I do have the HunterxHunter soundtrack in my possession on vinyl, and honestly guys, this is one of my grails in my collection. Honestly, just so glad to own this. This one's also a trifold and also like a 3-disc set that has the entirety of the soundtrack of the series, which also has one of my favorite anime soundtracks. And I won't show off the 3 records, I'll show off one because they're all the same color. And I really like the release of this vinyl. This is done by Tiger Lab Records, I believe. They kind of did like character themed pressings for the different colors, and I really wanted to get the Killua one because Killua is my favorite character, but unfortunately I couldn't get that one, it's sold out. But I did get what I would say is my second favorite character in HunterxHunter, and that is the Kurapika edition of this soundtrack. So here we have a really cool marble red, kind of like some red, some orange in there. Kind of looks like, you know, the Kurta clan eyes that, you know, that is very synonymous with Kurapika. If you have read or watched the, you know, this series, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, just such a great release for this soundtrack. And I am really glad that this also has the opening song for HunterxHunter Departure, which is honestly one of the most iconic OPs in anime, in my opinion. So yeah, really glad to have this in my collection. Next up, we have another banger of a record in my collection, and that is for Howl's Moving Castle. Now, fun fact, Howl's Moving Castle is actually my favorite movie of all time, and that's like including live action and, you know, animated, non-anime, whatever. Like, Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite movie of all time. And when they announced the vinyl for this, you guys know I absolutely had to get this. This was probably One of the most expensive records that I have purchased, but it was absolutely worth it as I, love the soundtrack for this movie. I just love this movie. Like I said, it's my favorite movie of all time. If you have not watched it, this is a classic Studio Ghibli film. One of the first introductions to anime when I was a kid, so I actually have grown up with this movie. And I would say this movie, I have watched it so many times throughout my life in different eras of my life, and it has never gotten old to me, and honestly has only gotten better the more I've had time with it. And yeah, just an amazing movie and soundtrack. This is actually a Japanese import as well. So as you see, we have like the Japanese obi strip, all the text is everything, and everything is in Japanese, so I cannot read it, but still super cool. We got a nice gatefold right there with some more art from the movie. There we have Howl and Sophie, just some amazing images here. And then this isn't like a super crazy special pressing or anything. It is a 2-disc, and I'll only show one of the discs, but it is a just a standard black pressing that you would typically see with vinyl, but it's actually on the second disc. One of the sides has a etching on it. So this side is, obviously we don't play, there's no music to play on the side, but they have like an etching. I don't know if you guys can see that. If you can't, I'll insert some footage. But we have an etching of Calcifer, one of the funniest characters, and then like the dog, I don't even remember what the dog's name is. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if you guys are able to see that with, there might be a lot of glare on the screen, but if not, I will insert some footage. But yeah, just super glad to have this record in my collection. If you guys haven't watched this movie, please, I beg of you, watch this movie, especially if you're a fan of anime. And if you've watched other Studio Ghibli movies like Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke and stuff like that, then you will absolutely adore this movie as well. So yeah, that is the Howl's Moving Castle soundtrack. All right, so next up we have a pretty interesting choice, and that is the Tower of God soundtrack on vinyl. So this was actually like a crowdfunded record. So basically they did like a whole campaign for this to be able to press this on vinyl. And if you guys don't know what Tower of God is a anime that came out a few years ago, if not a year ago, and was one of my favorite animes when it came out. It does come with this like really cool poster as well, as you can see right there. But yeah, this anime, absolutely loved it. Highly recommend it. It's only 12 episodes, only one season. Don't know if they'll ever do a season 2, but it sure deserves to have a season 2. It is an adaptation of a manhwa that you can read on the Webtoon app for free. I have been reading Tower of God on my free time. Haven't really talked about it in any of my reading vlogs or anything, as I like randomly read it. I started reading it like past where the anime left off, and then I kind of dropped it for a really long time. And then once I started getting into reading manga, I decided I wanted to read Tower of God, and then started reading it from the beginning of the anime. And I still haven't caught up to where I was at when I dropped it. So we'll see. Hopefully I hope to do a video on this series at some point as far as like the manhwa goes. But here we have just a really clean looking clear record. There is some like clouds in there as well. Don't know if you guys can notice that, but yeah, just a really clean release right here. I do really like the soundtrack of this anime, but more than anything, I just wanted to support the release of this record and just support, like, show support to this series because I absolutely loved it, and hopefully one day we'll get a season 2, but I don't know if that'll happen. But yeah, that is the Tower of God soundtrack. All right, so next up we have a big one that I was waiting for over 6 months. I bought this record, or I should say these records, back in like December of 2020, and I recently got them in, and I've actually been waiting to get these to do this video because I knew that I was gonna get them at some point this year. But that is the soundtrack to Persona 5. Now, this is technically not an anime, it's a video game soundtrack, and there is an anime for Persona 5. I honestly wouldn't recommend it, but as far as the video game, it is one of my favorite games of all time. Obviously, it has an anime aesthetic, anime style to it, so I think it definitely fits this video. And here I have this is the soundtrack for Persona 5, the game, and then I have the Persona 5 Royal, which is kind of like, if you guys have played this game, you probably know what Royal is, but it's kind of like another version of the game that had like additional music, additional characters and story and everything. So yeah, they did a really nice release right here. This is from I Am 8-Bit. Check them out. I don't know if you can buy this anymore. Maybe you can get the Royal one, but I know you can't get this, the Persona 5. This is kind of like box set right here. But yeah, let me show you guys this this box set. Oh, and I do have also as well like this little 7-inch record as well for Hymn of the Soul, which is like the Velvet Room theme. If you guys have played the game, you know what I'm talking about. If not, it would take me forever to explain, but yeah, this comes in a really clean blue. So nice little record right there. And then, yeah, let me show you guys some of the records in this. They all are like different colors and everything. So pretty nice. So right here we have all the sleeves and jackets for this are like the outfits of the characters and everything. So this one's like a standard black. And then we have the second one, the second disc, which is like a silver color, which is very nice. The third one right here, which is clear. And then the fourth disc, which is kind of like a translucent red right there. So very nice. Got all the colors from this video game covered here, which is pretty nice. I do absolutely love the aesthetic of this game and just like the Persona series in general. But yeah, those 4 records are in the Persona 5 box set right here. And if you guys don't know, I actually use a lot of the music from Persona 5 in my videos. Probably, I would say like in every video of mine, I use Persona music. So yeah, it's just fitting for me to own this on vinyl. And I actually will say, without a doubt, Persona 5 has my favorite soundtrack of all time throughout any medium. Like, it's my favorite video game soundtrack, but it's also, you know, better than any movie or, you know, anime or show soundtrack that I have ever heard also. So yeah, it just got a really cool like jazz kind of vibe to it that I really love. This is like the Royal soundtrack now. You see it's like trifold, which is pretty nice. And this one I believe is like 3 discs. So 7 full length 12-inch LPs in total for the soundtrack and 1 7-inch. But here we have like a gold colored vinyl, which is really nice looking actually. And I love the gold foil on this. There's probably a lot of reflection going on right now, so I apologize for that. as I'm trying out some different lighting and stuff for this video. So here we have the second disc, which this one is kind of like a translucent black. Don't know if you guys can see that at all, but yeah, this is like a translucent black, which is pretty interesting. And then we have on the third disc another translucent red with some cloudiness in there. So yeah, super nice release right here. This was the most money I've dropped on vinyl all at once. I believe this came to, like, both the Royal and the standard Persona 5 soundtracks came to about like a $200 order, which yeah, it was a lot, but well worth the wait. It did take a long time, but like I said, I am so happy to have this in my collection. This is like a grail of mine in my vinyl collection. I always was telling everybody, like, if they ever released the Persona 5 soundtrack on vinyl, which actually they did, but it was like out of stock, out of print for a long time. But I did say, if they ever re-released it, that I would buy it in a heartbeat. And then they did re-release it, and then also did the Royal soundtrack, which, you know, was just overkill for me, but I had to get it as well. So yeah, that is the Persona soundtrack that I have in my collection. And then to finish off my anime related vinyl records, technically you could say it's anime related, but you could also say that this is just also an album in popular music as well, and that is Daft Punk's Discovery album. Now this, guys, is one of my favorite albums of all time. I absolutely love this album. It is a classic house electronic album. Easily my, like, by far my favorite electronic album of all time. Also, I would even dare say this is in my top 5 albums of all time. I've loved this for many years. Just such a classic album, and I did want to show you guys. It's not like a crazy special pressing or anything, but here we have a gatefold with some really interesting image right there. But yeah, this is just like a standard black pressing. Daft Punk actually, one of the most legendary artists. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of them or have listened to their music. But if you haven't, I highly recommend you to listen to this album. As like I said, yeah, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. And I did say that this is anime related, and that's because there is an anime movie called Interstellar 5555 that is basically like a supplementary movie to this album. It's kind of like an anime movie that has no dialogue or anything. It's just this album, and that's it. But I highly recommend you guys to watch it if you can. I do have the Blu-ray for this, which I may show some footage of here. But yeah, I just absolutely love this album, love the aesthetic of this album. I love the movie that goes along with it. Yeah, I just can't sing its praises enough. If you guys listen to anything that I show in this video, please let it be this album, because it's just a classic. I absolutely love it. So yeah. So that does it for all of my anime related stuff. So I do have a little stack here of some non-anime related albums that I do want to show you guys and recommend to you guys. I want to say I have well over 100 records in my collection, so it was really hard to narrow down the choices I had to show you guys in this video. But I did want to show a wide array of genres. Unfortunately, I don't show things from every single genre, but I do listen to a lot of music, and I do want to recommend something. So hopefully there's an album here that could appeal to anybody watching this video. So to start off, kind of sticking in the theme of, you know, the electronic music and house of Daft Punk, we have another kind of electronic album that I want to recommend to you guys, and that is USA by Anamanaguchi. As you can see here, and if it's really difficult to see, I do have this album signed by the band, which is amazing. So glad I was able to get this signed. I did see Anamanaguchi live right before the pandemic hit, which I am grateful for. But yeah, I highly recommend this album to you guys. I think a lot of you guys that you know, like anime soundtracks, like video game soundtracks, are gonna really enjoy this album. It is a mostly instrumental album, but I still think that you guys will enjoy it, as it's got a very video game aesthetic to it. They kind of are like a rock band that mixes elements of like chiptune music and electronic and a bunch of things. Here I have the first disc, which is one of my favorite looking records in my collection. I just absolutely love this color. If you guys didn't know, blue is my favorite color. If it isn't obvious from, you know, the name of my channel and everything, but yeah, this blue color is just so beautiful. And this is actually a 2-disc record set here, and the second vinyl record is a different color as well, which is super nice. And then if I didn't show it already, here's you know, a gatefold, some of the lyrics and everything there. What's really cool too is a lot of you guys may know Hatsune Miku, and there is a Hatsune Miku collab on this album. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, the, you know, anime Vocaloid vibe, then I think you guys will definitely enjoy this. But yeah, the second record is right here, a really beautiful opaque yellow. Just really love the aesthetics of this album and everything. Super an amazing band to see live as well. This is one of my favorite albums. You can see a little picture of the band right there if you guys can see that. But yeah, just amazing. These guys put on an amazing show, and this is one of my favorite albums as well. So definitely highly recommend USA by Anamanaguchi. All right, so next up for my rock pick, I did want to show you guys my pressing of Room on Fire by The Strokes. Now, The Strokes is a very successful rock band that some of you guys probably know, but yeah, this is their second album. I really do love this album, as well as I love some of their other albums. Like, obviously their first album is an absolute classic, but unfortunately I don't have that one on vinyl. But I did get this one because it is a Vinyl Me Please exclusive when I was part of that vinyl subscription service. I did get this album on vinyl, and man, this is one of my favorite pressings in my collection. Super high quality, super heavyweight. Honestly, one of the highest quality records in my collection, but also like the color scheme. Oh, guys, this is so beautiful. Absolutely love this. One of my favorite records in my collection, hands down. And I did want to show you guys not only like a wide array of genres and stuff for these, you know, just album recommendations, but I also wanted to show you guys like some of my favorite, personal favorite albums, but also some of my favorite pressings as well, like just like with the colors and everything. As that's a huge thing for me. As a vinyl collector, I always do try to, you know, go for some of the rare pressings. You guys know the deal also with manga collecting. But yeah, absolutely happy to have this record in my collection. Next up is one of my personal favorite albums, honestly, of all time, and this is one of my favorite bands. This is another album that I think a lot of you guys will enjoy if you've never heard of it, as I think this can definitely appeal to a lot of anime fans, as you know, this band has influences of Japanese pop and just, you know, anime music, video game music, synth pop, just electronic rock, alternative, just a lot of things mixed in here. But yeah, this is one of my favorite bands, and this is Kero Bonito with the album Time and Place. Absolutely love this album. I actually have a collection of all of their albums on vinyl, but I definitely have to show this one because it's my absolute favorite, and I highly recommend this album to you guys. It is a pretty weird album if you've never listened to this band before. I will say this is kind of like an experimental pop, alternative type of vibe. So if that seems interesting to you guys, then definitely check it out. But also, this is a holy grail in my collection because this pressing is pretty rare and also really beautiful. As you can see, we have like a pink with some splatters of, you know, green and orange and purple and just a bunch of different colors in there. Absolutely love this pressing. I did spend a good amount of money on this pressing when I first got it. And then I remember the first copy I had was actually damaged, so I had to return it and then get another copy, and it was this whole deal. But I'm just glad to have it in my collection now. The price, the resale value of this specific pressing of this album has definitely gone up since I've, you know, added it to my collection. So I am thankful that I did pick it up when I did. And yeah, like I said, one of my favorite albums of all time, so I highly recommend you guys to listen to it and check it out if you haven't. Next up, we have my hip hop pick. I did want to show this record as well, and this is Kids See Ghost, the self-titled album. If you guys don't know what this album is, it is a collab from Kanye West and Kid Cudi, and yeah, just absolutely love this album. I really love the artwork. It's done by Takashi Murakami. I believe that's his name, but he is just a really amazing Japanese artist. And this record is a just really nice pink pressing here, kind of translucent pink. So just a really beautiful release. And this was a Record Store Day Black Friday exclusive from last year. And yeah, this is one of my favorite albums as well. Absolutely love this album. It's just such a unique hip hop album. So if you guys are into hip hop and haven't checked this out, which I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know this album if you're into hip hop. But yeah, just an amazing album. It's really short, so maybe like 20 minutes long or something like that. So not a lot of content here, but every song is a banger. Every song is just absolutely amazing. So that is Kids See Ghost. All right, next up, I wanted to show you guys something a little different, a little bit more mellow, for you guys that are into like indie and indie rock and singer-songwriter music. You may know this album. This artist definitely blew up a lot because of this album, but I did want to show you guys just in case you needed a recommendation for just some super just kind of depressing vibes, and that is the album Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. Absolutely love this album. It is just a great singer-songwriter album with some just great singing, great performances, great songwriting, just a really nice chill vibe to it as well. This comes with a really nice booklet with just a bunch of art and just lyrics and everything, which I do love. And then this pressing is one of my favorite pressings in my collection, easily, hands down. So I definitely, that was another reason why I had to show this record off in this video. But as you guys can see, this album is just really sick looking deep red, and just like with like a black cloud in there. I don't even know how to describe it, but it just looks amazing. I don't even know if it's gonna translate super well onto video, but in person, this is a breathtaking looking record. And I'm just glad to have it in my collection. So if you guys are into something a little bit more mellow, some, you know, alternative rock, some indie rock, some just singer-songwriter, like I said, sad girl vibes, then you guys will really like this album, Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. So I just have a couple more I do want to show you guys before I end off the video. The first of which being the album Underneath by Code Orange. Now this is gonna be my metal pick. I do dabble with some metal here and there, and this is one of my favorite metal albums that have come out semi-recently. Just super brutal, super just hard-hitting. If you guys are into metal, this is more specifically in that kind of metalcore type of vibe, but just an absolute amazing album. The production on this album is just absolutely insane, and the aesthetic and everything that they have going on for this album is just so good. And as you can see, I don't know if this translates well on camera, but the cover has like this like holographic like look to it. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if that's gonna translate well to camera, but this one's also a gatefold, which I'll show you guys. And then the actual record itself is a really cool color, which also don't know if it's gonna translate well to camera, but if anything, I will put in some inserts here, because this album looks like a standard black album when you look at it, but then when you put it up to a light or something, it's like this galaxy, deep teal blue, like cloudy looking record. So don't know if you guys can see that, but if not, I will definitely add some footage of this vinyl so you guys are able to see it. But yeah, if you guys are into metal and you're looking for something kind of different within the metal genre, as these guys do mix in some elements of like electronic music, and just they definitely experiment a lot with their music as well. Yeah, Code Orange, Underneath, this is a great album. All right, and so the final album I do want to show you guys for my vinyl collection is my pop album pick, and that is gonna go to Pang by Caroline Polachek. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I absolutely love this album. I do think this album is like a masterpiece, in my opinion. But yeah, this is not like your typical pop album. There's definitely some influences of, you know, a lot of different genres, but this is very artsy and very experimental at the same time as well. But there are some bops in this album as well, like So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings, such an amazing catchy song. But yeah, this is a grail in my collection. As you can see, this pressing is kind of like a clear with gold clouds in it. Just a absolutely beautiful pressing for this just masterpiece of an album, in my opinion. Just super glad to have this. And if you've never heard of Caroline Polachek, I highly recommend her to you guys. She is one of my favorite singers of all time. I think her voice is absolutely stunning. And her music is just so good. I think she just definitely deserves some more love. She deserves some more attention. She's doing a lot of great stuff right now. So yeah, if you guys are interested and are fans of pop music, I highly recommend this album to you guys. And with that, that does it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was a really different video for my channel, as up until now, my channel has all been manga focused, but this is the first honestly non-manga video that I've done on my channel. And even though it is anime related, it's also music related, which I really enjoy talking about and just making this style of content. So if you guys do enjoy this, and if, I see you know, some requests and demands for you guys to, you know, if you guys are curious about my collection, my vinyl collection, and everything else that I have, I am definitely open to maybe somehow in the future doing another type of video like this, or like a live stream where I show off my vinyl collection. I think that would be a lot of fun. So let me know in the comments if you guys do want to see that in the future, and we can definitely make that happen. Let me know in the comments if you guys have listened to any of these albums, if you guys are vinyl collectors yourselves, or if you have some recommendations based on what I showed you. Definitely hit me up on Instagram, Twitter. My DMs are always open. And yeah, if you guys haven't heard any of these albums that I talked about, or any of the soundtracks that I mentioned, and you listen to them because of this video, let me know, please. But with that, that does it for this video. Please leave a like if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, as well as hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And follow me, like I said, on all of my social media platforms. All the links for those are gonna be in the description. And with all of that out of the way, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.